Hello, hi. Welcome. Or should I say greetings? Hi everyone. Heather, Malvina, Jacqueline, Sam, hi, Ina, Cyan, and Reina, hi. Welcome. Let me know if you guys can hear me and see something on the camera, just to be sure. Hello Otto, how are you? How's your back? Oh great, great. I was about to worry that the sound wasn't coming through thanks to the delay. Great, great. All right. Okay, so yeah, like the title of today's video, I'm not going to be working on one of these paintings today, just because I feel a bit bummed, uninspired, not super happy, a bit flat. Just to quickly go through the ones I've done before, with keep in mind that the plan is to repaint all of these so that they fit together better and that the designs are more consistent, because this was a bit of a spur of the moment thing. So yeah, things have changed a bit since the very first painting. Hi Grace. Okay, so yeah, this was the very first painting that I did, and the idea was to... Someone suggested to draw a kitty, and I said, which kitty? And then I drew a witch kitty. Like, play on the word witch, became witch with a T in it. Anyway, so yeah, and then there was this mouse that was like unconscious. I'm not gonna say something else. And we decided that these were partners in crimes, that this was Twinkles the cat and Rogers the mouse. So yeah, there were more paintings with these two, trying to figure it out and trying papers and paints at the same times and ways to render this kind of drawing. So there's quite a few of them by now. That's four. One here, 5, and these are from last week. So basically this became about like the cat that's a witch and the mouse that's the assistant. And I didn't really finish this one yet. And yeah, my problem with these is that I find them a bit bland. Like, I was looking at kids' book and there's really like something a bit more happening, and I just wanted to maybe give me the chance to try some things before I do like the second roll of these pictures, and perhaps turn them into a kind of booklet or children's book, maybe. So yeah. So that's the wavy pile of drawings so far. So that's the plan for today. I'm gonna be maybe experimenting with more of the tools I don't often experiment with, like just looking around my desk I can see at least 2 or 3 things that I don't use often. Just to give an example, here I have some iridescent medium for watercolor. I put it in a smaller bottle because the big bottle was kind of annoying to use because it doesn't have an interesting tip. And here I have like linoprint colors. I have gold and silver, of course. So yeah, I don't really do linoprints, but I don't know. I think this could be fun. I got ink. I got this wax medium. Just stuff. You're lucky that the camera frames like around here because the rest is like stuff. So much stuff. So yeah, I also dug up, like, I've had these for, not kidding, at least 20 years. I just cleaned up the tin and the pens, but yeah, the very, very, very old Caran d'Ache thingies, and yeah, a bunch of random stuff. So that's the plan, and of course feel free to talk about whatever in the chat, as I'm not gonna save it. I'm gonna disable the live replay of the chat, so it's all yours. Since I have the big box of old paintings nearby, do you guys want to see a couple of them? Just while it's out. It's a mix of good things and bad things and experiments, and there's probably not 2 paintings in there that fit with one another, but yeah. Jacqueline is saying that she was watching the watercolor for beginners videos earlier and that they are just excellent. Well, thank you. It's really weird to try and share knowledge, but I'm really happy if it helps, because that's the whole point. Okay, I'm gonna... The box is basically just a box. It was a box that had some plates in it, and since it's a huge format, I kept it for to store paintings in it. So these are the cat paintings. This is the inking demo that you saw this week. There's this one. Both of these are on 300-pound paper, so that was really awesome to try. Like, it did warp a little, but it's very minor. But it was so much fun to paint with this thing. There's this one, which you've probably all seen. Oh, newcomers. Hello, Abby, and Marlis, hi, and Caria, hi. Okay, I'm gonna recap. I was saying that what I was planning. I want to sort of try things today because I'm a bit uninspired or a bit flat about the paintings I did. I feel like they lack something, some kind of oomph or some kind of richness, and my plan today is to try to explore and try different things that I don't often have a chance to. This is a very old painting, like 2005 maybe. I got a bunch of like failed thingies as well. It's not just good art, it's full of weird stuff as well. There's this one, that was the collab I did with Denise. Hope I'm not a bit too off camera. Well, there's this one that I was having fun with, the super weird neon gouache that my friend gave me. And there's a bunch of galaxies. And there's this one. I don't remember for which paints I did this one, but it was to try out some paints. I got plenty of these. Ah, there is the pieces I did for my M-gram review some time ago. So there's this one, and this was on hot press paper, which really takes to textures differently. I did this one. I'm trying to see by looking at these old paintings if there's anything in there that I once did that I could that I had forgotten about and that I could give another chance, so that I could try it again, and maybe maybe that would help me feel more inspired. And yeah, there's a bunch of old sketches and stuff in here that's not really worth showing. Yeah, that's basically the end of the box. It hasn't been that long since I started painting again, so that's why the oldest recent painting in there is from 2016. So yeah, kind of love the way these colors have like subtle gradients in them. Just to give a bit of context, I've worked in the like cartoon animation industry for a couple of years, and I did a couple of different jobs. But the thing with that kind of industry is that you're often hired to be a part of the pipeline. So you're not exactly hired to bring something of yourself into the project as much as to accomplish a task that needs to be done so someone can progress to the next level. So I don't have any real problem with that, but it comes with the consequence that after that it's a bit difficult to remember what you enjoy doing, because for a long while it's been all about what you are capable of doing, and the fact that you enjoy it or not is not really relevant. So I'm always a bit stuck, because I feel like I know I have a process that would allow me to draw anything that is needed of me to draw. Like, oh, you have to draw a building. Okay, fine, I know how to go about researching and drawing a building, but do I enjoy doing it? What do I enjoy doing? I don't know. So, yeah. Okay, that's it for the box. I'm gonna grab a few of my favorite children's book I got. Okay, super quickly. This one, aside the obvious, we had a very old version of that book when I was a kid, and I think it was my mom's before, and it was in French, but I just remember like going back to this book even when I was too old for it, just because I loved the art in it. And it's about colors and kittens and mixing colors and creating new colors, and the art is really super cute, and I really loved it as a kid, and it's really no surprise why. I mean, I'm pretty sure no one is shocked. So yeah, see these. Oh, these illustrations are so pretty. There's a richness there. Perhaps it's because they use like more intense colors, and the shapes are really nice too. Like it's very clear what happens. It's not weird or muddy. So yeah, I think this is by the same illustrators. Yeah, this Fuzzy Duckling. I mean, these are really like baby books because they have like the super thick pages. But when I had the Color Kittens book, it was on paper. It was a very older version. That was not like for babies. So, another one of these. Yeah, another one with cats, because who's surprised? Like, I mean, these stories, they're so silly. Like, the white cat is frozen solid, and the black one brings him back and puts it on the stove and melts the white kitten. I mean, what? That's not a thing that cats survive usually. Which are scary because scary. Anyway, kind of a classic. Yeah, I really like the older illustrations, perhaps because they use more like blocks of colors instead of having everything sort of mushed together. This one is really nice. Like, I got most of these, either some that had new versions, I got the new versions from Amazon, or I found a lot of these at used bookstores. So yeah, there's I don't know. I'm trying to look for the thing that really works for me. This one is just fun. I like that it doesn't have to be about like a perfect drawing. It just had to tell a story clearly. Yeah. Carrie is asking, have you seen the Little Leaders children's book? It's everything for her right now. No, I haven't. I'm really driven with the art. So, yeah, I mean, this is just a handful of books that I found on... This one is really used. But I'm not researching content as much as the art in it. So... I will check it out, of course, but yeah, I'm really, this one is really recent, and it's also really, really nice. It's drawn by Matthew Forsyth, and like, I'm gonna try to, there's really something like rich in the way this is presented, and trying to put myself in the mindset of being a kid, and like the things that you notice, like the bear in the background or the squirrel here, and you know how an image can have like some fun things that a kid will be like, oh yeah, I remember this page, it's the one with the 4 baby birds, or like it's the one with something interesting going on. And perhaps I should maybe see about having more of that, maybe like having kittens doing stuff in the background of the pictures more, or having a bit... I really don't know. That's why I'm at this point, and I'm not doing a Twinkles and Rogers picture today. It's because I just don't want to continue with this feeling of missing on something and doing more paintings with this feeling of missing something. But I'm not sure exactly how to go about finding it, so that's why I want to do some exploration today. terms of supplies for today, I have hot press paper. I got some cold press as well. These are not 100% cotton, because if I'm going to experiment, I'd rather try on this first. I have these that I really love and barely use. I have this set that's not even open and reviewed yet. Let me know, is there anything you kind of want to see me play with today? I got gouache handy, I got watercolors, of course. Okay, just catching up on the chat. Would you like suggestion too? Yes, please. Carrie is saying you could try something with the color. Yeah, I could. I would perhaps need something a bit more, more constraint, more challenge, because with just the color is sort of not hard enough. Cyan is saying that those cat stories reminds her of Pekka Topohanta. It was a story full of cats doing silly things. That sounds amazing. Kitty would survive if twinkles worked her magic. Hi James, welcome. The panda is great. Oh, Laura is saying that she really enjoyed the Findus and Petson books by Sven Nordquist. I'm gonna have to find some paper to write notes. Okay, okay, notes. I'm gonna write that Pekka. That's a lot of letters with this thingy on top. Like, I really like the work of John Klassen as well, but I like it. I find that a lot of modern children's book artists have sort of very dark palettes, so maybe that's something I would like to work differently. Oh, yeah, little leaders. Oh, I got another painting that I just found out. We were talking about one-color paintings. I did this one with the Hydrus watercolors and probably some colored pencils for the line work. I remember that I did like colors with Photoshop on top, but I wanted to do like an underpainting with single colors. Yeah, James, you're right. It's using like the cheaper paper. It's the same as experimenting on sketch paper before doing the finished piece on drawing, mixed media, etc. papers. Yeah, and it has to be, we have to be careful that the texture is similar. Like I would still have to do tests of my discovery on this cheap paper on the better paper to see if it translates well. Oh, oh, that rings a bell though. Cyan is saying that the cat stories she was talking about is Pierre sans queue in French. So basically Peter no tail. Huh. Alright. So yeah, so these are basically like black and white colored pencils. These are the very muted, very nice. Just after I said that I find the palettes dark in most of the modern children's book artists, I take out my most muted set of pencils, but I really like them. So I got some more vibrant stuff over there, like on the side. So I got these two. I got so many things. I got the new colors I was talking about. So yeah, I'm just gonna grab a sheet and start on something. I'm gonna start with the cold press. This is pretty neat. I'm pretty sure that there is no one from Canada or Quebec in the chat, but if there is, this paper by Dessart and Fabriano is kind of really nice. It's a huge pad of 60 sheets of wood pulp paper, of course, but it's kind of nice, and it's really great to have a big, huge block of paper. And the sheets are very easy to remove. It's really well made, and I've been using it to swatch colors for what, a third of the block so far, and I really like it. So there's a thing. Hello, Kathy. James says that he uses hot press for water-based markers. And he uses smooth drawing paper or blank Japanese markers as well. Japanese markers? Like Copics? Have you tried out the Stonehenge yet? Not yet. That's like a treasure. I will try it. I really have to, because it's getting more and more available here. So if I like it, I'm not gonna be heartbroken when I run out. But yeah, it's too good to experiment with. But I should really try one of the final paintings on the Stonehenge paper. I have a good stash of backup paper that is kind of decent. I got inks, and I got markers, I got everything around me, and yeah, I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna grab the first pencil I see, which is this 2-color one that I got from the box that you saw lately. And yeah. Oh, okay, James was saying that he uses smooth drawing papers or blank Japanese notebooks as well. Yeah. Okay, so the only thing I'm missing with this setup is a way to access references. Like, I don't really have access to the computer screen, or I could grab my phone, but yeah. And I don't have any assistant today, so I cannot use my assistant as an inspiration. I have a lot of stuff on my walls though, like art and pieces I like, so that could help. So I'm just I'm looking at the walls at the moment. Chat is saying, oh, Kathy, did you really get some more snow? Ew. We are officially in spring, so snow has to go. No more snow. Be gone, snow. Melt. Ian is saying to look at Jackson's to reverse watercolor paper. I will. I think I have in the past, but it's been like awfully expensive to ship over here. I don't know why. Like, sometimes there are things that I can understand why it's pricier to ship, like the ceramic stuff. But whenever I look at, like, sometimes I put a good number of paper samples in my cart, and the shipping price is like really high for what is basically a bunch of small pieces of paper. And it's often because I have the 2 reverse paper in my cart. So as soon as I remove it, the shipping price is like super decent, super nice, and when I add it back in, it's like really pricey, and it's a tiny thing that they ship. It's not like they send big sheets, so I'm not sure. James is asking, do you ever delve into the surreal? What do you mean by surreal? I'll go pick up my phone just quickly so I can have Pinterest and pictures to use. All right. Pinterest is really super useful. Ah no, Cyan! More snow for you too. It has been heavy snowing 2 days. Ugh! No! No! This is not good. So I will start by looking at the board that's about cats, because hey, who's surprised? I love cats. Oh, yeah, basically a bunch of cats. This is Pummy. Pummy, the mom cat from Kitten Academy. I'm gonna try to draw her really quick. Just keep the essence of what, well, try to at least keep the essence of what makes her Pummy. And I apologize, this is really like annoying. It's squishy. There, fixed it. It's probably not gonna make sense as a picture. I'm sorry, Pummy. You are much cuter than I'm drawing you. Kathy's asking how I am liking that new two-handed colored pencil. It's really fun. It doesn't erase at all. Like, this is never gonna be removed in any universe. But it's a good exercise to draw and not erase. It really makes you think about the strokes you're putting down on the paper. So you sort of have to commit. Like, this is where I'm putting the stroke because this is where I think it goes. Like, this is really not like my reference at all. Poor baby, I'm sorry, Pummy. James is saying that regarding the surreal thing, it's not exactly easy to explain. Art with a dreamlike quality, disorganized or oblique view of reality, like some of Dali's work. Dali is probably the most famous surrealist. My art history classes are very, very, very far. I don't really do anything in that sense, seriously. I couldn't say why. This doesn't look like Pummy at all. I'm sorry, baby. She's so funny and cute. I hope she finds a good home. She's a really cute kitty. Yeah, I've seen Salvador. I think everyone has seen Salvador Dali's clock at this point. It's not really like, I'm trying to think about it, and I don't think I have any like surreal art or surrealist like art books or anything around here. I don't think that ever was like my style. Like I'm more because of what I studied in school, I'm closer to illustrators and figurative stuff that ultimately means what is on the like it's something that exists. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, like something that can exist. Whereas I'm pretty sure that melting clocks are not exactly something that exists. Wow, this is really rubbish, but it's gonna do. This is just for practice anyway. If you ever have a weird dream, try to translate to paper. Okay, speaking of dreams, I have I'm pretty sure this is fairly common, but I have really vivid, really weird dreams that are not fun, really no fun, and it often leaves me super confused like for the day, because it sort of meshes with reality a bit in a way that it takes me some time before I can separate what was the dream and what was reality. So maybe that's why I don't really do surreal art, is that I get a fair share of it while I'm sleeping, that when I wake up I don't want to have to do anything with that. Hey Val, hi! Grace is saying that a lot of Ghibli stuff gets closer to surrealism. Yeah, that I can see why. Like the melting stuff. It's hard to say because I am not... Oh, Val! Hi! Hi, grandbaby! Is she gonna be a wood burner too? A pyrographer? Did you get her a tiny baby plastic wood burner? Yeah, I was saying that I am not super knowledgeable about like the Japanese lore or culture thing that could be the inspiration for Miyazaki or some of his stuff, so I really don't want to pronounce myself on whether or not it's real, or it might just be something that I don't know, and that doesn't make it surreal, that just makes it something that I don't know. So, but yeah, some of his stuff from maybe our point of view is very strange, like the melty stuff, and the, like in Princess Mononoke when the animals in the forest, like the big animals, they get all full of worms and weird stuff, like corrupted. Hi Stephen. Stephen is saying, do you say Stephen? Stefan? I never know, I'm sorry. But he says that a very interesting book on dreams is Exploring the World of Lucid Dreaming by Laberge. Kathy's saying that her brother had a lot of his art. They are now in her care. Pretty trippy, some of them. Others are pretty dark. Kathy, are you talking about Dali's heart? Dali's heart? Sorry. So Ian is saying that surreal is the real in unreal perspective. Huh. James is saying that he understands that he's not great at sketching from his mind, that when he does put his mind on, it scribbles doodles. Yeah, same. And it's kind of it's mine on paper, it scribbles doodles. Yeah, it's weird to, like, how do you transfer emotions on paper, and especially if you're not used to like expressing things in symbols, like oh, when you see, like, I remember in my art history classes, like you would have the painters say like, oh, this this picture of the butterfly being ripped apart represents this and that and whatever and whatnot. And I was like, always, whoa, whoa, are you okay, dude? Do you need like assistance? Can we help? Is something wrong? Are you? I don't think that's how my brain works. Like, I'm not super good at putting myself on paper. Like, I don't think it's interesting enough. I don't think it's warranted enough. And my life is pretty boring, so I don't really have much to put on paper. But yeah, I was watching, I'm blanking on her name, but I think it's Louise Bourgeois. And she was a very prolific artist, and she arted for a very long time. And it was interesting, like at some point in the documentary she was saying that we had to let go of the past, but she kept like the pieces she would make, she would find the meaning of the pieces in her past. So I'm definitely missing something, but I thought it was kind of weird to have this notion of abandoning the past, but at the same time you can't really abandon your past. It's there, and it was like it was the source of all of her work, like her experiences that went into her weird sculptures and fabric installations and that kind of stuff. So it's kind of weird. And on the same level, like I don't feel motivated to go outside when I see like people, like take James Gurney. Like he will go outside and draw like this corner of the street that has a store, and he will enjoy it apparently, and that will be like the thing he will do. And yeah, I don't really feel like I'm much of the urban sketcher. Like I don't find any real appeal into doing that, so I'm a bit lost. Like I find that I'm unable to get into the emotional stuff or the personal stuff, but at the same time the very mundane stuff kind of bores me. So where do I do like a mix of both, like have a bit of the surreal and a little bit of the real and make it a thing? Hey, art talk, we are having a good art talk day. So the palette I'm using right now is Gouache. It's a bit of everything, seriously. It's like Winsor Newton, there's M. Graham Gouache in there, and some of it is like maybe one or two colors. Two colors are Holbein. Just catching up on the chat. Oh, Val is saying that a niece of Dali is a friend of hers here in town. Whoa. Well, great niece. Still, that's kind of cool. Is she an artist? Kathy saying that yes, she has Dali's art prints, not the originals, of course. Well, who knows? You could have been like this super epic, awesome, rich art collector, philanthropic person. James is saying that he's learning to sketch and do urban sketching. Sketching what he sees is much easier, even though he's still very much a beginner. And then he says that he doesn't think people understand that he hasn't set out to be an artist, sketching what he sees with vibrant colors and in simple expressives. Yeah, that's kind of really cool. Hey, salut Christiane. It's like a way to express yourself by using what's in front of you, like the way you will choose the colors you use and the lines you decide to put down on the paper. That's where you find your expression. It's okay. It's really cool, actually. And it's a lot more fun than just rendering the stuff as it is, in my opinion. Like it's basically your style, so yeah. Hi Temple more. Or just Temple? Well, hi. Welcome. My gouache is all goopy. So, this gouache has been in this goopy state for like ages now. Like, I really haven't touched this in weeks. And it's still fine. Doesn't even smell. And you're gonna see the back of my head, I think. I apologize for showing the back of my head. Checking the replay, the chat, the stream to see if my head is gonna show up. So yeah, perhaps I should have used like white. Still have white. I can just grab it out, or use this one. Doop doop chat chat. Doop doop. Yeah, we had a great time in Valerie's live last week. There was a lot of shenanigans. Oh, okay, Temple is your first name. Good to know, good to know. I try to remember the first name of everyone who has like a special handle, and with YouTube you never know if something is like the handle or the person's name, so, and it feels a bit awkward to ask at times as well. Hi Lana. Goopy gouache, why is it still goopy? It's gouache and water mixed together, and I just put this rubber cover on it and I don't let it dry, so it stays in this semi-liquid goopy state, which is the way I like to use it, so that's why I leave it like that. How do I like that box? This one here, this tray box. For the way I use it, it's perfect. Like, I really like the fact that it has this this soft cover that's segmented to fit all the squares. So for the way I prefer to use gouache, this works really well. So that's why I really like it. Oh, bye Val. Have fun with the grandkid. The cute little grandkid. find it difficult because whenever I work, I always end up having in mind the work of someone else. And not that I consciously try to emulate or mimic it, but it kind of impress itself upon my brain, so it's kind of difficult to... There's another layer of difficulty to figuring things out. Yeah, Kathy, the fun part of leaving the gouache goopy is that it doesn't crackle. Like sometimes gouache, when you leave it to dry, it will crack. And especially if you don't touch it for a long time, which sometimes happens with the way I switch between different things. So yeah, so when I leave it goopy, like this was an experiment as well to see if I can leave it in this state of goopiness for a long time. And apparently, so far, so good. I've used mostly distilled water and gouache to make it more fluid. And that's it. And like I haven't mixed them in a long while, so they're a bit separated. But that's okay. It's not a problem. I'm really trying stuff with, you know, mixing weird colors and seeing what can happen. And cat hair, of course, is part of the picture, because what is art without cat hair? And I'm also using a flat brush so that you can get a bit more fun strokes with that. And if you want me to like put something different on there, just call it in the chat and I'm gonna see if I have it, find it, and see about using it. What do you consider to be your biggest art hurdle when it comes to doing art? What is your biggest like difficulty? What will stop you dead in your tracks? Yeah. Lana, that's why I was testing it. I wanted to see if my paints would get moldy, but so far they're still pretty much like just like a bit like liquid gouache. They haven't developed any mold yet. Like I know that's a risk, that's why I wanted to test this, but I've only put like a little bit of gouache and water in each well, just so I would not waste a lot if things went south. But so far, I mean, it's been good. Like I really haven't touched this in at least what, a month, and nothing has gotten gross so far. So far so good. Then again, I'm in Canada, so it's been mostly cold and dry because it's the winter. Maybe that played a part in it. Mary is saying that art, food, clothes, nothing is worth anything without cat hair. Yep. Another good way to challenge yourself is to never rinse out your brush. Like I've wetted my brush to add more water to it because it dries, but I don't think I've rinsed it thoroughly ever since I started on the background. So since I've kept two colors that are fairly close to one another, it hasn't become like a muddy, gross mess. But it's a way to have happy accidents, to quote our beloved Bob Ross. Like you never really know what you're gonna get since you have this backlog of weird colors all mushed together in the brush. Oh, thanks, James. James is saying that he really liked what I'm doing with the cat, especially the background. Great. Temple is saying that that they have a kitchen towel that says cat hair is a condiment. That's very accurate. I'm kind of happy that we humans cannot have hairballs from cat hair, because that would not be cute first, and then that would happen a lot. Grace is saying that their biggest difficulty is finishing pieces. They have so many sketches that they love, but they just can't bring themselves to make it a finished painting. I'm thinking about this. I think that perhaps it could be interesting to think about what you consider a finished painting, and just to see if there's a way you can like move that around so that you can finish something in a different way that would be easier to do. Like that would be either less time consuming or less strenuous, or just something that's, you know, less... Sometimes the difficulty is setting it all up to finish. So like, say, just as an example, but say that to paint a painting you have to take out this huge palette of 1 million zillion colors. Well, it could be interesting to have a smaller palette of just a few colors that you really like, and when you don't have the energy to take out the big palette, you just take out the smaller one, because it's much easier, and you use those favorite colors of yours just to paint the thing, and you try to have fun, and then regardless of how it ends up, you consider it finished because you've had fun painting it, and that was the goal of the exercise. Okay, Cyan is saying that they have the same issue with finishing pieces, that it's much easier for them to fill sketchbook than to finish pieces. That's a real problem. That's a real thing. Heather is saying that the Furry 500 race has apparently commenced there. They are currently 127 laps into the race. Wow. Yes, I agree, James. Saying that, can you just imagine a person on all four kicking and scratching to cough up a hairball? That would be something to behold. How are you feeling today, Bob? Oh, I've had better days. I got a hairball that's not really sitting well with me, and it doesn't want to come out yet, and I don't know when it's gonna come out, so I just feel lousy. Well, have some more of that pumpkin and lax at home while you're at it. It should help you, like, pass it through. Okay. Chris is saying that that they get caught up in their head too much. Yes, I can really relate to that, but because that's something that I do too. Like, I will start overthinking everything and like set myself impossible goals or impossible objectives that are really not a good idea. Like, I'm not gonna make this happen anyway. So I try to think in terms of, what do I feel I can do? Like, is it to paint using this super large palette that I have to set up? Do I feel like using these colors, or do I rather have like this couple of things on my desk and just do this tiny little thing? And the point is to finish it, so give you every chance to finish it, like make it easy on you to finish it. Not overly easy, the goal is not to cheat ourselves of something, but it's to be able to recognize what our brain feels like at the moment, and being able to serve that up. Like, I don't think it's helpful to do things that you don't feel you have the level to do right now. Like, you're setting the bar too high, but you decide where the bar is. So if painting something with 36 colors is too much of an exercise, well, just pick 3 and make it something different. I'm catching up on the chat, sorry. Oh, hi Lee. I am using gouaches. Various brands like Winsor & Newton, Holbein, and M. Graham. And this is a tray with the gouaches pre-mixed with water, so they're a bit more liquid and goopy. It's the goopy palette. Okay, just catching up. Maria is saying that they're really struggling with their lack of drawing skills. Truth is that they find all drawing classes boring and don't stick with them. She just loves color and kind of sees herself as a coloring person. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, whenever I have to bother with the fundamentals, like the draw from models or like humans, and it's just kind of boring. I agree. This is the cold press paper. I switch to this one. So I think, like, I'm trying to think of tips that I could give you to maybe make it easier on you. But say you want to say you want to draw from reference and it's a human. Well, you can either try to do things like, just as an example, if you look at the way someone like Theo from Parka Blogs, like Theo Yichi, the way he draws humans, I mean, you know they're humans, that's it, but it's not, his focus is not on making them 100% like the reality. It's not about realism. So all drawing classes that are like, oh, this is this, what's the word in English? But, oh, look at this scene, I've put together a pumpkin and a bottle and a piece of cloth, and you have to draw this perfectly. And while I understand that it's about studying and understanding, it's incredibly boring, and I don't think that's for everyone. So you can just maybe use what you see to make it fun for you. Like, you could just say, well, I'm gonna make this thing in the least number of lines I can make it, or I really like this part about like the way the light is reflected on the table from the bottle, so you focus on that part and you draw that bigger and you work on that because that's the part that speaks to you. I think they sort of killed the creative inside of a lot of people by making it super stiff and not explaining that the goal is to really have fun and to find out what you like of this and to focus on that. And I might be wrong, I'm not a teacher, but from my experience, that's the thing I've found the hardest, is when they tell you to do something that you don't exactly feel is yours, and then you're kind of stuck with this thing that you know you can do, but you don't have any joy in doing, so you're kind of stuck after that, like, I can do this but I don't like it, so either I spend my time doing things I don't like but that I can do, or I just don't do it because I don't like it. Okay, catching up on chat again. Palmyra is saying hi all, well, hi to you as well. If you don't mind me jumping in the conversation, she finds that deciding on not finishing paintings to begin with works better toward actually finishing the painting. So basically you tell yourself that you're not gonna finish it, Okay, Grace is saying that inspired by the Jaguarundi painting, they've sketched out 4 sketches of sea animals that break the frame. That's so cool! And they're happy with them. And now they need to make the next step with it. Or figure out what the next step is. Yeah. Try to have fun. Oh, yeah, James is saying that he is looking to find a style similar to Theo's, where it's not about making it like an architecture drawing. It's about making it something fun. Like, mind you, I see what Theo does, and if I was to do the same thing, I don't think it would bring me much joy. But clearly, when you see him draw, that's what he finds fun. So that's really perfect for him. Okay. I need to find something to... Where's my phone? So, do I try to make another cat on this different paper? If you have suggestions or things you would be interested in seeing. I'm still looking at the cat pictures I've set up on my Pinterest board. There's a lot of them, but not all of them are suitable for a drawing. I don't think that's gonna show well. Yeah, but anyway, this one is really funny. Like, the cat has literally melted off the sidewalk into the street. Is Otto still here? There's a documentary made on the cats of Turkey, I think. I think it's titled Kedi, like K-E-D-I, and it's basically the Turkish word for cats, and it's a documentary about the cats in Turkey. And I've been wanting to see it for a long time, and I still haven't had the chance. But if you hear about it and you like cats, that's a good one to watch, I'm pretty sure. I think Turkey has a really special relationship to the street cats. So yeah, that would be exciting to see. Like, yeah. Just gonna leave that one there while I take a sip of drink. Oh no, Otto, I'm so sorry. Damn. Yes, rest your eyes. We don't want you to have a migraine. Migraines are the worst, and you could really do with less pain at the moment. Damn. Okay, Palmyra is saying that when they're fed up with one... sorry, need to catch up higher than that. They're saying that they have a lot of things in progress at the same time, and they don't do one painting from start to finish. And when they're fed up with one, they move to another. Yeah, that's a general good tip when painting, because you can have one drawing that dries, and while it's drying, yeah, anyway, you can work on another. So I think the best habit is to have more than one painting at once, of course. It's just difficult to find a space to have all of these drying at the same time. Oh, Grace is saying that they don't really have art online at this point because they are a bit shy, and that's fine. We really appreciate that you hang out with us, and that we are not that we are making you comfortable enough that you feel fine here. That's really awesome. I have so many cat pictures, but this one is pretty great too. Oh, I love cats. I will look at, I have a board with like other animals. I have so many boards because I find that Pinterest is a really useful resource. Like, it's really inspiring to look at a bunch of stuff that is not art, like just photographs of real things. So you don't compare yourself to the skill of someone else. You just you just get the, you know, the way things in life are. So that's pretty great. Oh, look at this bunny. I think I'm gonna draw this bunny. I'll try to, at least. So special shout out to Cyan. Miss Bunny. How is Bun Bun? Bun Bun is Cyan's bunny. So this is kind of somewhat difficult to do because I am not laying down any kind of reference or shapes. I just try to make interesting lines that read as an interesting shape too. But by not having the moment where I build everything up first, it kind of forces my brain to see what is important in this picture and to try to focus only on that. So it might make for wonky thingies, like Wonky Bunny in this case, with the proportions that are not really interesting, but it nicely takes the focus away from trying to make things too perfect and to stick too much to reality. Because in a way, if you want something that is very much like reality, there's always, you know, your camera. Well, that's my mindset. I mean, some people will do like superb realistic pieces and it's just mind-blowing to see how real everything looks, but that's really not the angle I'm trying to take here. Like, I'm trying to capture the essence of the thing, not capture the whole thing itself. So that's where I am. Oh, thank you, Otto. I'm glad you guys find my voice soothing. that was a bit unexpected, but I'd rather have that than a shrill, annoying voice. So I'll take it. That's perfect. Suits me. Oh, welcome back, James. Palmyra is expanding on the fact that having many paintings going on at once takes the pressure off of needing to finish a painting. You can come back to a painting after weeks of not touching it, and when they come back to it, when they're inspired, it's not because it needs to be finished. I hope I sort of made this Not too rubbishy sounding. Okay, bunny. Bunny. Cute little bunny. I think that's something I might be pushing towards more, like to accumulate references in Pinterest that are not art, because I love a lot of art. We all do, I think. And it's really, like on the bad days, it's really depressing because you keep thinking that why is my art not something else that I personally like better than what I'm doing right now? So it's difficult, but having a lot of like photographs of animals or like colors that I like, or you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, like references, things that you see that your eyes sees as reality, not as something that is done better than you, because anyway it's going to be done better than anything else. It's reality. It's the way that these things are. So what's the point of trying to compare myself to my skills to the real thing? That's kind of stupid. So, oh, bye Kathy, have a great day. So yeah, and I've just going to quickly finish what I was saying, but I noticed that having many references, photographs that inspire me, or like clothing that I find inspiring, these things, they fuel my imagination better than having like a lot of art, because that's already gone through a filter. It's gone through someone else's filter. But having photographs means that I got the raw stuff that I can put through my own filter and focus on, like, I see this picture and what I really like is the colors. Well, I can use the colors to do something else. And I see this other picture and what I really like is the way this garment falls on the person's shoulder. So I can make a thing with that, and I don't end up using like the way someone else has already worked that out in their artwork. Sorry. Okay, a question. Has anyone used Sennelier watercolor paper? Lee is trying out the 100 pure cotton cold pressed just now, and it's so different from their Fabriano Artistico. They're feeling a bit lost. I don't have access to Sennelier paper here, which is a bummer, because I would love to try it. But yeah, I really don't know. Has anyone tried Sennelier's cotton paper? James says that he doesn't compare himself to artists. He looks at the different pieces in colored pencil, marker, watercolor, and see if there's anything they can draw inspiration from. Oh, bye Lana. Thanks for being there. Have a great day. Ian wants me to draw the bunny howling at the moon. It's not a were bunny. That's a Wallace and Gromit movie, right? Curse of the Were Bunny. Like I'm not super fond of the way I treated the branches because they're a bit too even. I should have done like clusters of branches instead of. But yeah, that's live and learn. Besides, it doesn't have to be exactly like this thing. The cold press paper and the hot press paper, they feel so different, and it shows in the way they react to even like the way the strokes end up being made with the pencil. It's so much smoother. Like this doesn't have a lot of tooth, so you can see that the strokes are a lot stronger and less rough than the other piece. Yeah, Maria is saying that the pain makes their patience and stamina really short, so they tend to have a lot of unfinished pieces, and on their good days they can push to finish a bunch of painting at a time. Yeah, but that's still about setting up the bar at a challenging yet attainable level. Like if you're aware that you tend to have a low lower stamina or higher pain, well, you can set out your paintings in a way that it's easier for you to work with that. Like smaller pieces could be a way to use less colors, use simpler compositions, maybe do a lot more things that are perhaps less time consuming, like, and more abstract, so you don't get slowed down in the details of the realness of the thing. I'm just pitching ideas. It's kind of weird to use this gouache on the cold press paper because it really doesn't behave the same way. The paper I am using right now is Fabriano Studio watercolor in hot press. This one is a 25% cotton paper. Don't know if this shows well under the camera, but yeah. Checking the chat again. James suggests getting a subscription to fashion and travel magazines. Yes, that's a good idea. It's a bit expensive since it costs money, so yeah, any subscription is kind of an expense, but if you can afford it, that's a really great way. Online is great too. I'm guessing that perhaps I'm old school and these magazines have online subscriptions now that you don't have a paper thingy like hanging around and taking space. But yeah, that's kind of like Pinterest, what it is for me. Like, it's a way that I can store and organize all the pictures I find inspiring, and I can save up a lot and come back to them later, and I don't have to remember in which number it was or in which version of the magazine, or I don't remember what this color is. Oh wow, ooh, that's blue. Okay, that's not the blue I was expecting. This one should be indigo with cat hair. That's a brand new fancy color. Indigo with cat hair. And I'm again falling into this trap of trying to make the colors a lot like the reference picture, but I really shouldn't be doing this too much. I really should try to focus on making this like interesting on its own and not like the photograph, because the photograph is already interesting on its own. It's already its own thing. I'm trying to make this the artist version of the photograph in a way. Oh, Lee is saying that this paper I am using right now is their practice and illustration paper. It's really cool. It's the first time I'm using this paper. Well, not the first time, but it's my first pad of this paper, so I'm sort of experiencing it for the first time in a way. I have hot press by Arches. It was a gift, like for my birthday a year, my friend got me a block of Arches. But it still has a bit of a texture, like it's not super satin smooth as this one. Oh, pling. That's my phone. Sorry about that. We're gonna take a small break shortly because I need water. I've been talking a lot. And yes, I'm gonna take a few minutes when I'm done with trying to make this blue color not too much of a mess. Might be too late for that, but that's fine. It's okay. Alright, be right back. back. Oh, this feels great. Water break. Both cats are fast asleep. And not one of them is in this office space. Oh, dang it. It's really weird how this diluted gouache doesn't really soak into the paper. So, yeah, questions for you guys. What is on your what are you working on at the moment, if anything? Or it could be not necessarily art related. Say you are knitting your bathing suit for this summer. You can tell us about it. What's on your plate at the moment? Yeah. What do you find inspiring? Trying to mix a more neutral-ish color for the bunny. Again, I have to I have to correct myself every time, but I keep going to this with the mindset of using colors that are close to the reference picture, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to bring it a bit more random stuff, or inspiration, or yeah, happy accidents. I have to scrape at this upper pink because it has really settled at the bottom of its compartment. Kind of weird to work with the paper that has no texture at all, so all the texturing comes from the pigment in the way that it's laid down. I'm not really used to this. It's probably gonna cauliflower a lot. Lee is saying that they can that they can get blocks of the Fabriano paper Oh wow. In almost 11 by 14, 140 pounds and 75 sheets. That's a good deal. That's a lot of paper. Trying to display my brush so that I can get some perhaps fun dry brushing. Nah, I don't know why, but dry brushing never makes me happy. It's like too even. I want more random in my dry brushing, thank you. Okay, looking up at your inspirations. Malvina is making patterns with kingfishers. Ooh, you're gonna have to... I'm gonna have to go look for that one when it's done. Yan is saying a French village seen in watercolor as we speak. Maria is saying that she had deliveries from EEM. Eventually everything mixes. I always get confused if it's eventually everything mixes or everything eventually mixes. But it's Ame's Beautiful Paints. And from Dan at Penholder Heart and Jackson's. Oh wow, that's paint extravaganza for you. It's really cool. I'm really happy when I see that people try the beautiful paints made by our lovely friends and artists like Dan and Ame. They make beautiful paints. It's really weird to be working on this hot press paper. I'm really not sure what I'm doing. I think it's really well suited to gouache, but I am not super experimented with either the paper or the medium, so mistakes. Gotta make some mistakes. Maybe I could take out my rougher brushes and see what happens. Lee is working on a botanical from imagination painting. Oh, and war children illustration. Oh, that sounds like a very serious topic. Cyan is inspired by orchids, moons, and light bulb. That's really cool. It's a nice combo of items you can make some really fun stuff with. What is Camp Nano? Temple is trying to make a bird painting with oil pastels. That's very commendable, as you are using oil pastels. And they say that they haven't played with their gouache color mixing enough to be ready for a painting. So I'm just grabbing a more a rougher brush to see if fun things will happen or if it's just gonna make the paper peel, because that's an option. But maybe since I'm scraping away at the underlying gouache, it's gonna make like for a bit more I don't know, something. This is a bristle brush that I've cut at an angle. It's basically all there is to it. It's not special in any way, it's just a flat brush that's snip. James is saying that they have one other plan in mind. He found Blick has their own sized acid-free, very nice for sketching, drawing, construction paper. And he's thinking of getting a multicolor pack and having it coil bound at FedEx. I wonder if they can do Canadian binding. What is that? Oh, Maria is waiting for my paints to come back into the store. Yeah, that's... I'm working on it. I am working on it. This is kind of underwhelming as an experiment. It needs something more going on. I'm going back to this turquoise color a lot because it's one of my favorite colors. And it's a bit like opera pink in the sense that I really like mixing it into other things. And the way it will like give a kind of weird glow or life to other colors is really fun. And another one of my favorite colors is dioxazine. I'm making a bit of a mess on my gouache palette, which is why I don't usually put a lot of paints in the wells. So it's easier if I contaminate a color, I can more easily take it out and replace it with the clean color. This is turning into experimental bunny. I'm sorry if it turns out nasty. You're a good bunny. Oh, apparently Camp Nano is a smaller version of the NaNoWriMo event, which is I don't remember, but I know that the WriMo part stands for Writing Month. But yeah, Camp Nano is in short, is basically writing a short 50,000 word novel in 1 month. Yikes! That's a lot of words. I think I'm successfully peeling the paper, so I will maybe leave this one on to dry on the side and see if there's anything to experiment with it more. I think I probably can fit in a last one if you guys want me to. If you have other things to do, that's fine. I can stop here as well. I'm not sure I was able to push as much as I wanted, but I think this one has something interesting going on, and maybe with some colored pencils I could bring in something a bit more, maybe with the gouache. Gouache is nice in the way that if you want something that will reactivate with on the layers, well, go for gouache, and it can make for some nice like mixes or fun things happening. But yeah, I see like the people who are able to paint in a more abstract way, like you can tell that the more compelling abstract pieces are the ones where the people was able to put emotion in their strokes, but it is so hard to do. Like I think people tend to underrate abstract art, but it's not easy to do abstract art. Like it's just as difficult because you have to be able to channel like the things that are going on inside of you and make them something on the paper. That's really super hard to do. Do you guys have any kind of medium suggestions for the last one? I've mostly done gouache so far, so there's definitely room for more experimentation. This gouache, this Viridian gouache, is really weird because it's kind of semi-transparent. It's not really opaque like gouache, so it's kind of weird on its own. I don't know why I got Viridian and like I got deep green, I think. They're basically the same color, but yeah. I don't see the point of a transparent gouache much, but gotta make do. So this is the set of colored pencils I was looking at earlier, the one with a lot of like 3 different black-ish tones and a bunch of whitish tones as well. It's by Derwent. Let me know if the noise of the pen on the paper is annoying. I will see about not using it. Oops. Yeah, putting your hand in the paint is a good way to have happy accidents as well. Number 1 tip. Make a mess. Use your fingers. I remember when I was in studying like for animation, we had live model classes, and you know, it was like sessions of 3 hours in a day, you know, so you had like the class would be for 3 hours, so you would draw naked people for 3 hours, and it would get a bit tiresome at some point, especially when they would get to the long pauses, because I never do super good with long pauses. I mean, like, the person will be seated for 20 minutes and you draw that, and that would always bore me so much. So at some point I started focusing on parts, like oh, I like the way the feet is in that position, so I will do a quick full body, and then I will draw the feet, and then I will draw the shoulder and the hand and the hips and everything. And at some point also, I don't remember if it was a prompt from the teacher, but I just brought like ink and I did them by I did some sketches by putting my hand in the ink and just using that on the paper, and it was a really nice way to do gesture drawing, because anyway, to do model drawing, model painting, draw from a model. Anyway, that, and it was really fun because it was really free and you are using your hands, so there is no like nothing in between the process and your brain. It's basically your fingers you're using, so it was interesting. Yeah, that's so good. I could like paint something fresh and do this with that and see what happens. I got a bit of paint on me. Okay, this is kind of a nice effect with the dry brushing over the gouache. You guys are really quiet. feel like I'm a rambling madwoman. And then you put the paint and you take the paint and you... Paint is awesome and I love paint and cats. Yep, paint and cats. That should have been the name of my paint store. These are kind of a strange texture. Oh, really? Wow, Grace. Well, say thanks to your husband from me. Grace is saying that their husband just leaned over and said, "That's a cool painting. I really like it. Looks like the cat just walked up to you." Oh no! And apparently Cyan's bunny is looking like he's going to chew her easel. That's not bunny food. It's wood, right? I guess that they could eat it, but I'm not so sure it would be very good for the bunny. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, this is not a reproach. You guys are quiet, but that's just an observation. I'm really sorry to hear that, Temple. And I'm glad that you find the cat paintings cheerful. I will make another one, I think. If you want to see a cheerful cat, check out Kitten Academy and their video of Pumice exploring. She is really funny. Like she explores the home for the first time and she's trilling, like she's doing for the whole video. And she's having such a great time exploring the home for the first time. So it's really, really cute. And she's such a cute kitty. And she's so playful. Yeah, Pumice is a star. She's made to be like an online kitty. This is a really nice picture. This older woman and her cat basically doing what Havoc does, but this one is sitting and sleeping, and it's a really nice picture. I'm gonna use the no erase pencil again. Hopefully that it will turn out okay. So there's this lovely picture of a calico baby. Well, it's not a baby, it's a cat, but all cats are babies. But yeah, the calico lady, and she's really pretty, and that's a kind of a classic cat pose. Kind of trying to get the basic shape first. Like, I really like cats. I'm pretty sure you're all very aware of this by now, but I really have a hard time drawing them, and I'm kind of disappointed in myself for being so like, I really need references and I need to look at the construction, and I have a hard time drawing cats from memory, so I need to practice drawing them more so I can create a strong enough impression in my memory to draw from. But I'm like, lady, for someone who likes cats so much, you really need to work harder and to draw them more, so it's easier. Cyan is saying that they have a flimsy tripod easel and that one leg is shorter than the others. Is the one leg shorter because Bun Bun has had his way with it yet? Or is it shorter because it's a cheap easel? Every time I see a cat, I'm like, oh, I really need to... I hope I can adopt a cat of this coat, this color one day. Like every single time I see a different colored cat, then even if it's a cat coat I've had before, I'm like, oh, this is so pretty. I hope I can adopt a cat with that coloring one day. And I do that for every single coat I see. Again, try to make more, to commit to a stroke rather than being like, oh, is this like the reference? No, just do the thing. Do it. Like, to quote Shia LaBeouf. And it's a calico, so of course she looks like she's about to eat your face. I am thoroughly unimpressed. Meow. I think the spots are definitely the funnest feature. I wonder if there are two exactly like copy calico cats or torties out there. Like, there's no way you can have two identical calico cats or torties. That's impossible. Meow. Oh, hello Anna, welcome. Oh, Temple has a tortie. Oh no, I am so sorry for you. I share your pain of having temperamental tortie. You've all seen Scout. She's a handful. She's a lovely handful and we love her dearly, but calico cats, they're something else. Oh yeah, and apparently the Cyan's flimsy tripod easel has a shorter leg thanks to Bun Bun. Oh, Bun Bun, stop eating the art supplies. Okay, oh yeah, I know. Just gonna have to think about... I was thinking I could splash maybe things on this to get a more a different feeling to start from. Okay, so this is the black hydrous paint. And I'm gonna see if I have a color that could fit for the orange of the kitty cat. Yeah, Temple, you know what I'm talking about, right? You're lucky if your Millie only has tortitude when she's hungry. Scout has tortitude 24/7. She does some really funny stuff. And she's always as like this frown, because the way, you've all seen Scout, but like the way her spots are made. Let's say you have like Scout's face here. And she always looks like she's like frowning. And she always has like big eyes. But the funniest thing is that she has these like big spots that are lighter on top of her eyes, so it sort of makes her even more of a grumpy. And she has like a small orange spot, and the rest is pretty dark. so you don't see her face much. All you see is the big eyes and the eyebrows, and that's basically Scout's face, and I find it really funny. Alright, so I got chrome yellow. I am not sure it's going to be the proper color. We're going to find out. Just going to try to drop some of it where I see like the orange, and I can always drop some more, and I have the black one too, and it's probably going to make a kind of weird mud color that doesn't really represent well the way the colors are. They're very separate, but I think this is a fun way to experiment and see just how bad this doesn't work. Like, this is another way to experiment. You try stuff and it looks awful, and you're like, well, I tried this and it looked awful, so lesson learned. I'm not gonna do this again, because guess what? It looks like butt. I'm gonna use the same brush I used before. So Millie has a sister. Do they get along well? Because Scout and Pico, they're sisters, and they can barely stand each other. It's really funny, because like Pico, she has no patience whatsoever for Scout, and it's always hilarious because Scout is like always trolling her. Like she will come close and will start biting her, and you know, just being annoying. And Pico was doing nothing. She was just being her cute little kitten self. She was just like, look at me, I am cute, I am purring, and I am sitting here on this counter not doing anything. And then Scout will show up and go like, oh, nice counter, I think that's my counter, I think you should go away. Here, I'm gonna bite your neck until you go away. What do you think of this plan? And Pico is like, ugh, you are so annoying, go away. So yeah, very funny. Yeah, I agree that trying what not to do is a very good way to learn. Like, I don't think I've had any real, like, I've had many classes of drawing skills and all that, but I've never had some super legit art class about like traditional stuff. That's mostly like I did a zillion of mistakes and learned from that and try not to do it again. That's basically how I did it. Yes, that would be very wrong, Ian. No, it's not, it's fine. Ian said, would it be wrong to want a stuffed head of the grumpy cat? I would love one. Like a big round pillow cat head that's all stuffed and fuzzy. I think we're onto something. It's kind of difficult to keep the orange nice and bright. I have to be very careful not to touch the black too much, because the black is really liquid and very strong. This is fun. I highly recommend doing a great big mess of your art supplies. Then you can splatter a bit around. I thought Ian wanted to stuff my face, my cat's face, my cat's head, and I'm like, no, don't stuff the cat. But yeah, a stuffed toy of the cat, that would be really nice. Terrible at this. Oh, that's kind of fun. You can use the brush on the side to get like different effects. The more you know. Cue jingle. Oh, that's fun. Oh, welcome back, James. Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, cool. It's nice that I really don't know how to say what's in my head in English. But basically, James is saying that that he is a caregiver and personal assistant to a lady in a wheelchair. Is it similar to the kind of training you have to do to be a nurse? I should have chosen a cat with more colors, because I'm kind of like, well, that's all the colors in this cat, you're done. And I'm like, no, but I still want to mess around with this thing. Yeah, Lee said it like the words I was trying to put together in my head, like, great work you're doing, James. That's what I was trying to find words for, and my brain just went, nope. Yeah, I do speak French. I am a French Canadian, with French being my native language. Well, whatever French is, the French of French Canada. Like, it's a bit modified, and we borrowed a few words from English, but enough of a long time ago that they're all modified, and it would be the same kind of French that you would have, like, say that the US and the UK, they both speak English. Well, French Canada and France, they both speak French in the same way. Sorry, I need more water. Oh, okay, cool. You know, I asked James if he had to follow the same training as a nurse would have to, and he said that it's more about the heavy lifting, like getting the lady in and out of transport vehicle and help her with groceries and cleaning and all that. Okay, so while at it, I'm gonna finally break open this. Okay, guys, gold or silver? I need to catch up on chat. I missed a few. Mary is saying that she has two boy kitties and they do like each other after they were snipped. Grace has a dog who is much bigger than the cat, but the cat rules the household. Jacqueline just got some Daniel Smith paints she ordered. Ooh, Sleeping Beauty turquoise and rose of ultramarine. Lovely. Beautiful colors. Temple is saying that the house balance was good with Bunny and their little Maltese that Millie the Tortie knew her place, but once the puppy passed, they fight over who is first. Cats are so silly. Heather is asking if that's Mayo. Not intentionally, it was this beautiful lady. But it might look like Mayo more than it looks like that lady. Except that I didn't do the spots that looks like Mayo's. Yeah, Ian is right. Our French here is more like, it's like the USA that borrowed the English language and modified it. We really took the French and added in like influences from what little cultural heritage we got and the English that was around as well. Okay, so gold, 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 silver, gold, gold with silver lining. Hey. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for being there, James, and hopefully we can see you again another time. Okay, so, well, gold. I'm gonna start with gold, and we'll see what happens next. So, I've never really tried this, and I'm gonna be bold and just splush on paper right there. And there's quite a lot of it in the... Since I am absolutely unused to this thing, I'm gonna use like cheaper synthetic brushes I have. Oh, that's nice. Anna is saying that this last Thursday, it was her last day of a workshop with children who wanted to introduce to drawing, and she brought them a lot of papers and watercolors and told them to do whatever you want, experiment. They were scared. A lot of the children were too scary to do something different than regular techniques. They're too young to be scared of that stuff yet. This is a really weird gloopy paint. I am not sure if it's meant to be more like acrylic or gouache. Maybe someone in the chat knows, like it's the lino print. There. Aqua Lino Druck. Yeah. Whatever that means. It's it has a bit of a texture more like acrylic than gouache, like it's the same kind of springiness you would have in acrylic paint. But I think it's supposed to be like more like a gouache in its binder. I bought it because it was gold. I don't need a reason. I just like, I'm always on the lookout for a good gold or silver paint. So when I get the chance, I go for these colors. I don't know why. Well, I probably could find out why. It's probably very simple, but it always bums me out that they're a bit more expensive than all the regular colors. And I'm like, of course my favorite colors are the more expensive ones. Hello, KL Onassis, welcome and thank you. Jacqueline is saying that cats are silly but their owners are more silly. What do you mean by that? Should I take offense in this statement? Are you saying that I am silly? I probably am. I think that's fair to say for all pet owners. Like, I am not really sure. Oops. I think that dog owners are probably just as silly. My clean water is not so clean anymore, and I splattered earlier, so I got a bit of white specks of paints everywhere that does re-wet. I'm curious to see if this dries out with less paint strokes, brush strokes, sorry, than it has when it's dry, wet. Bleh. Like, it is very streaky when it's wet, but sometimes these things, they sort of settle down when they dry and they get a lot more smooth. So we'll see. I'm gonna grab a paper tissue and just see if I can like pre-smudge all of this so it doesn't react with the gold paint. Oh yeah, that's children from 13 to 26. That's kind of a wide range of people. I think gold and silver paints are definitely underrated. I want everything to be painted with gold and silver paints. Bring out the shine and the tacky and the gaudiness, yeah. Love it. It's kind of very mellow gold, like it's not chrome-ish or anything, it's just like a bright yellow with sparkles in it. Jacqueline is saying that if she offended anyone by saying that cat owners are sillier than the cats, she has offended herself. I'm kidding, you know I'm kidding, right? I mean, I'm not offended, and I find it really true that cat owners are much sillier than the pets themselves. Like, I often joke about the cats, like we give them silly voices because life is not complete if you haven't given your cat or dog a silly voice. And it always makes me laugh because I'm pretty sure in their head they're like, what is going on? Why is that supposed to be my voice? Like, I don't sound like that. I can make phrases. It's not like I can have cheeseburgers all the time. What are you doing? Give me my food and clean my litter box. That's all you're good for anyway. Temple is saying that she sings to Millie the tortie. Yeah, I do that too. I make songs about the cats, and I'm not a singer, so it's always like more like children's nursery rhymes, or you know, kind of songs for kids rather than a real song. But yeah, that's something that happens often. And they have the theme song, like when they're running around crazy, there's a theme song for that. And there's a, yeah, cats, silly. My my water is getting really gross, but it's kind of nice. It's like almost black with a hint of shiny sparkles in it. So it's not like nasty, but it's not clean water anymore. Hey, so we finally did one that was truly experimental. We kind of like it. Like it's a good study for a project. Like, I don't think I would have to do something with the line. Perhaps I should, you know, sketch this one instead of using a red pencil. You use a black pencil, or a gold, something that will be gold. So when you paint the gold around, it sort of matches with the line. So I think that could be a really nice look. And I kind of like how these inks, these are the Hydrus watercolors, but they don't, since they're pretty thick, not you know, thick that they are goopy, but it's pigment, so there's particles in suspension in the medium. So when you drop them, they will mingle a bit, but they will not like completely obliterate one another. You will still have like some super bright orange spots and super bright, well, super dark black spots, and the dark is absolutely dark. And you know, here I splattered in the orange and it didn't even spread too much. It just made for like a few dots. So that's interesting. That's something. I think I'm gonna still try the silver, since this is a, you know, a practice thingy. I'm gonna try the silver just to see what it looks like, at the same time as I can watch what the gold look like, so we can compare. I'm often disappointed in silvers because they're basically just like a shimmery gray. They don't provide that kind of super fun shine. Like, not all silvers are bad, but you know, often they are more disappointing there than their gold counterparts. I've got some silver foil sheets, so I'm gonna be trying that eventually. And I finally was able to find a way to get the Molotov chrome pen, which looks amazing. So that's gonna be like more things to figure out using the silver color. Oh, silver whiskers, that would be good. I cannot do it right now because this is awfully wet still. So it, instead of silver whiskers, it would be a mess. But it's a good idea. Or perhaps, you know, like have the eye be silver and the whiskers, and like all the other lines gold as the background, and the spots. That could make for kind of a limited color slash metallic thing. So, okay, I'm just gonna quickly recap the attempts at experimenting. Before, I feel like I should draw Pico on this as well. Like, you've all seen my rendition of Scout's face, but Pico is deserving of a silly doodle of her face as well. So Pico is basically the essence of cuteness, to the point where we have to pay for her being so cute by her being so stinky. So she's adorable with, you know, big eyes, and she makes the cutest sounds, and she's so fluffy and adorable, and she has a tiny cute little face, but she stinks so bad. It is so bad, it is so toxic. So yeah, that's basically my two cats. Thanks for allowing me this silly moment. Okay. Okay, so recap. This is the gold. Well, it's gonna be more like shiny than it's supposed to be, I think, because it's definitely not dry yet. But the gold and the gold calico. Then there is the bunny, which it's really not that bad once it's dry, right? I think there's some fun thing going on with the paper, but then again, it's kind of weird. Like, I am not used to hot press paper, so I don't really know what to make of this. It's not a failure, but it's weird, and I'm not sure how I would control the effects yet. So that's it. And then you have the weird doodle of Pummy the cat, which was fun. I'm not happy with the way I use the pencils on her. I don't think that's super appealing. I don't know. But the background is fun. There's something going on there. So maybe I should try to see if I can use this kind of stream of consciousness color, but for a more structured subject like a plant. Like, you know, a background with plants, or I always go to plants because that's the basic outdoor thingy, but you could have it indoors, like have a potted plant, or a book, a couch, a footrest, something. So yeah, that's basically the 3 weird pieces for today. Does it count as exploration? Yeah, I think it does. I think it shows that exploring a medium takes a bit more time than one would think, and it's not, you know, it's kind of not easy to just go splatter paint everywhere when it's not something you're you're used to doing, or you don't have the room for doing. But this is definitely a good way to see the limits of your mediums and where you can create new stuff. So there. I'm just gonna catch up on the chat quickly before I finish. Cyan saying that she has Schminke watercolor silver and it's just horrible, just sparkles, nothing metallic. Yeah, there's I don't know why there's this kind of issue with the silver thingies. Like, often it's gonna be fairly consistent in the brands. Like, if the gold and the silver, there will both be like sparkly, but the gold always comes out a bit better anyway than the silver, who just looks gray. And it's always kind of why is this not more bright? I think Coliro or Finetech has a really nice silver. That's like one of my favorite so far, but I need to check. I have the Holbein gold and silver. I have these weird ones. I have the Schminke ones. I have a lot of them in like acrylics and stuff, and it's kind of weird and difficult to find something that really works well. Okay, quickly catching up. Heather is suggesting I could do a calico with gold for orange and silver for black. Oh yeah, that would be really nice. And you could have like the background be black, so that would really like punch out of the paper. It's a nice idea. Temple is saying that stinky cute. Yeah, Pico is the definition of stinky cute. We always make jokes about her being so cute. Like they went too far on the cuteness from the running. Like, there has to be a drawback to so much cuteness. So they made her toxic. Yeah, there you're right. The paint is intended to be used with a brayer for lino prints. But I'm all for using things differently. Oh, that's a good idea, Heather. Like overlaying the silver on top of black. You're onto something, I think. I think the difficulty is to find a good black that is that has the proper like texture to put the silver on top. I think that's easier to do with like acrylics, where you can layer acrylics indefinitely and nothing's gonna budge. But if you have like silver watercolor, I think it's kind of more difficult, because the way the binder absorbs into the paper and things, that kind of affects the way the color will work. But that would be a fun test, to make plenty of black swatches and then see which ones, if there's a difference, but which ones render the silver better. Temple is saying that she always says to Millie, "How can you be so sweet?" after she pets her face. Yeah. Like, I like to grab Scout and hold her until she claws away, but to hold her in a hug when she doesn't want to, she looks so miserable. Oh, and Heather is saying that if she recalls correctly, gold looks good over deep red. Yeah, I will definitely try that. KL is saying to use black acrylic gouache, maybe. That could be a nice one, but I don't think a regular watercolor is gonna stick on top of acrylic gouache. But I have the gold and silver from acrylic gouache, from Holbein's acrylic gouache, so that's something to try. I have a few metallic colors from Turner as well, because they have like a million colors. There is the Schmincke bronze powder, but most of the time they don't. I don't know. I think I have to watch it, because if it's made from powdered metal, that's not something I want. Like, I had a super nice silver, but it was powdered aluminum, and I wasn't comfortable with having this. Not because it's not pretty, it did the trick wonderfully, it's such a nice color, but there's a minuscule chance it can react with iron oxides, I think, and a lot of pigments are iron oxides. So I was a bit wary of that, because the reaction that can happen is termite, the thing that burns really, really high and really, really hot. So yeah, it was the best silver I mixed, to be honest, because it was like aluminum powder, so yeah, silver. But I would much rather have a mica equivalent than having the powdered aluminum. I'm a chicken like that. So yeah, I have to see if one of Schmincke's powder is just like mica or something inert. That would be really cool. But if it's like powdered metal, I would have to check. And sometimes when it's powdered metal, they won't ship it to here, because they won't put it on a plane, so you cannot have it shipped overseas. Temple is saying that she's worked on hugs for 4 years, and Millie now hugs her back when she sings to her. Aww. Aww. Scout loves to do head boinks. She really likes it. Like, she marks us as hers all the time. But when I take her up, like, if she doesn't want to be picked up, she will let you know. Okay. So if there's nothing else, if there's no more questions, I will call this one done, and I will have another Caturday livestream next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. What about? I still don't know yet. Perhaps I will see about like picking up another Twinkles and Roger picture, but pushing it a bit further, perhaps with instead of just using watercolor, perhaps I could use gouache a bit too. So yeah, that's where I stand at the moment, but things may change. So as always, thank you so very much for being there, and it's been great, and I really enjoy having you guys. So I hope you all have a nice Saturday and a nice week, and hopefully we'll see each other next time. Bye bye.